I have a hard yes that I do like what's happening, but I do think it is painful, and there is kind of the justification as an AD carry player to be like, man, this kind of sucks.
Well, we're done with the first week of Summer Split. I'm joined right now by Jatt with coverage presented by Omni. Talk a little bit about how everything went. So first off, seems like a pretty explosive entrance into the Summer Split. Lots of upsets, lots of interesting things. Meta stuff seems exciting. What's your take on the first weekend here?
Definitely really fast. Like, I remember the first weekend in spring, our average game times were up around 38 or 40 minutes, and especially over in Korea, they were like 41. This year, I think we're closer to 30. The split, we're closer to 30, so the game is a lot faster.
Yeah. Is that good? Do you like the shorter games? Does it not matter? I mean, what's your kind of take on the difference in game length?
Yeah, so I like fast games as long as I feel like the game is worthwhile throughout, right? If there's a game and nothing happens for 12 minutes, then they take a turret after getting a gank off and it's effectively over, I don't like that. Yeah. And right now, I personally feel like they're probably a little bit fast for my liking. The pace feels a little off to me. Of course, a lot of that has to do with players not really knowing what they're doing on all the champions that they're picking and just how quickly they all had to adapt to patch 8.11. Because in past years, the midseason patch was all at once, right? Yeah. And then it was usually a month before we even played pro games. But they decided to do the midseason patch in a series of patches, 8.9, 8.10, 8.11, and 8.11 is when stuff really got crazy, and it's also the patch we played on for the first week of the league, so I think teams have just had less time to prepare than ever before.
What did you think of the Golden Guardians game in particular? Because that was one of the biggest upsets to me, not just because, Leafs falling, not just because of the fact that Golden Guardians beat Team Liquid, but that they did it in such a short period of time. Is that just an artifact of the meta, or what's going on there?
Both. Like, I think Golden Guardians had moments last year where they were up huge early on in games.
Last split.
I keep saying last year.
I know, everybody does that.
The break for MSI was 3 weeks this year. So last split, Golden Guardians had those games where they're up like 5 or 7K, but we did some talking in the countdown pre-show that we do today where stuff like bounty gold only kicks in after 3 kills as opposed to before when it was after 1 or 2. So like when Golden Guardians would get these 5,000 or 7,000 gold early leads last split, you give up 1 kill here and the rubber band is a lot stronger. Whereas that's kind of been removed right here. So I think it's partially that. It's partially, and I'm friends with Doublelift, him being boosted on Vladimir early on in the game. Didn't play very well with Ole, and like even some of his team fights were awful. It was Team Liquid not knowing how to play their composition, Golden Guardians playing really well, and the game being in a place where you can snowball. So a lot of things coming together.
I think Emily tweeted out a stat, which was something around the idea that North America is just staying on marksman more than any other region right now. Like other regions are sub 50% marksman picks, like Korea, but we're up there at like 80% or something. Why is it that we're not seeing as much of that over here? Are North Americans just afraid to try out other stuff? I mean, why are we sticking with the marksman?
Yeah, or they know it's better. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. I know Korea has the fewest, I think, and then it's a slow mix with NA, especially today, really going back to it a lot. Yeah. I think, as a lot of people have saying, it's kind of their best guess as to what's good. And it also depends how many other skill sets you have. So you have certain AD carries in the league that when they don't get marksman in solo queue, they either like hard ask for one, play it in mid lane, or dodge.
Yeah, definitely says he just dodges.
Has he said that?
Yeah, in my interview with him.
So that's a team that's probably better off picking marksman. Yeah. And then you also have the players like Wild Turtle who have played Phil for 4 years. Sure. So if you have developed this skill set, then you should go into these other things. But I would actually say, hell, if NA has the most marksman picks, there should have been more. Yeah. Because a lot of the brands we saw and a lot of Vladimirs we saw just were not good at the champions yet. I think maybe there's a chance the Korean AD carries had spent more time in their pasts playing mages, because that's really what does it. I don't think any of these guys are picking up Vladimir for the first time and in 1 week making it pro level. Yeah. I think it's if they played it in the past, and I think NA just probably had fewer guys that did that.
Yeah. Other than that, I do have to ask you about the pause that ended up with a game end. Certainly not your decision. You're on the analyst desk, just keeping your mouth moving during that break. But do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I just know when it happened, and I heard everyone DC'd from the game. I'm thinking, That's probably pretty bad. I'm not sure what's going to happen. We don't necessarily get updates when it happens. I'm still trying to figure out like what I would have done in that situation. So I think from a League Ops perspective, they're going to be making their own statement on it, and I'm honestly not sure yet.
All right, moving on. Do you like the meta right now? Do you like the fact that we're seeing all this zany stuff? Because I know a lot of people have mixed feelings on it.
I have a hard yes that I do like what's happening, but I do think it is painful, and there is kind of the justification as an AD carry player to be like, man, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because throughout like League of Legends history, every role has kind of gone through this. Oh, like there's been patches in the past where the team with really good carry junglers is like the top of the standings, and then we put Cinderhawk in the game, and guess the tank junglers are doing it. Yeah. AD carries are the role that I think has had to go through this the least of anyone. So, like you saw, a lot of them just don't have the skill sets or haven't even had to develop the skill sets later to adapt. And also, I like to see a pro product that is people playing at the highest level. And right now, I don't think that's happening because people haven't had the time to figure it out, they haven't come to the right conclusions, and they haven't practiced the champions enough. So in like 3 or 4 weeks, hard yes. I would much rather see the lane swapping that we're seeing, the ability to play different styles, the ability to play mage in the bot lane and Lucian mid if you really want to, or Kai'Sa mid, or any of these other things. I think that is super cool, but I also want to see it being done at the highest level, and that's not the case right now.
Final question. The new studio looks really cool. What's it like for you to sort of have all that stuff to play around with?
It's really cool. So people may not realize this. That is exactly the same space that we were in before Double Stream started. Then that space got renovated for like the battle theater, and we moved into like what we call the analyst desk closet for a year. And now they've redid it, kind of modernized it again. So it's really cool to be back. Not only do we have the desk there, we have like 3 different looks with the telestrator, as well as like another area where they're doing NA LCS tonight right now. And we're going to continue to try and utilize that space as much as possible. It is so much better than being in the analyst closet.
Will you be dancing every time you do Jatt stats? Because those moves were amazing.
We have, I haven't heard them because our producer keeps them secret. We have multiple jingle lyrics, sets of jingle lyrics. So I'll dance, but I need to remember, I need to listen because I don't know what they are.
Very good. Anything you want to say to any of the fans out there?
Yeah, thanks for watching LCS. Summer Split is cool, and I hope NA does not suck when we play other regions again. And Rift Rivals is really soon, so we're going to get to see that soon.
Well, hopefully we kick Europe's butt once more. Do you know they have the trophy? They have the plaque and the EU LCS studio on display?
That they lost. It's like NA Rift Rival champion. Surprise. We were there for like a week, right? Yeah. They have like pictures of Kobe and stuff in there being like, look at all the cool people we have here. Desperate.
Just, sucking the fumes of NA LCS. Thank you so much, Jatt, for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. This is Nephiloid. She's the woman that does all the emotes for my Twitch channel, and she says she only does it for people who are actually very popular. So if you don't sub to my channel and watch my videos, she said that she's never going to do any more emotes for my Twitch channel. See, look, she's already leaving because I'm becoming less popular. She's looking for popular people to do emotes for her. Thanks so much to OmniSlash, but please subscribe and go follow my Twitch channel, which I also put in the description. She's gone.